90.3 WHPC from the Press Box here on Columbus Day, October 8th, 2018. My name is Rob Leonard, and the show you're listening to is from the Press Box. Of course, I'm with my co-host and brother, Tim Leonard. How we doing, brother?
Doing well. How are you, brother?
I know you're doing happy because the Yankees, I think, should have won both games. They only won one. And you know what? They're going to probably beat up on Boston tonight, aren't they? So,
well, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So,
as I've been saying to people on Facebook, I'm fairly certain the Red Sox have won their last game of the season.
So, anyway, if you have any comments or questions, 516-572-7440. That is the number to call for any comments or questions concerning anything going on in sports. But I think a lot of people are going to talk about the Yankees today.
Yes, I'm trying to avoid bad lighting on Facebook Live here.
Don't worry about Facebook Live, brother. Who cares? I know Timmy's in love with himself. The video, he has to see video of himself. Look, yeah, well, it's the lights. You can't the fluorescent lights. You have to aim downward. That's the problem. There, okay. Anyway, I thought Game 1, brother, of the Yankees-Red Sox series, I thought the Yankees should have won that game. And they didn't.
They should have.
They should have.
They should have. The plan in this series for the Yankees has been fairly simple. Get to the Red Sox bullpen as quickly as possible and then do damage. And the Yankees got Chris Sale out of that game after, I believe it was 5 1/3 innings.
Right.
So that's 3 2/3 inning that the Red Sox bullpen has to nail down. The Red Sox bullpen isn't good enough to do that. The Yankees bullpen is. The Yankees bullpen, the pundits have been calling it not necessarily bullpen by committee. They've been calling it closer by committee because the Yankees have so many guys in their bullpen who have closer experience. The Red Sox, on the other hand, have a lot of guys in their bullpen who have major league experience, which means that they're not very good as far as being relief pitchers. That they're just they're out there, right. And the Yankees, the key moment of that game was the 7th inning. The Yankees put bases loaded with no outs, and they wound up only getting 1 run out of it. And that turned out to be the key to the game because they wound up losing 5-4.
Right.
Aaron Judge hit a home run off of the Red Sox closer Craig Kimbrell in the 9th inning, and you know, I mean, another inning or two and the Yankees win that game. But like I said, the key moment was the 7th inning. Giancarlo Stanton came up with the bases loaded and didn't get the job done. You know, what are you going to do? It was a game that should have been won. The Yankees should be up 2-0 right now. Instead, we have the game tonight, which if you look out the window right now, I'm not sure if they're going to play. But
that's true. You know, it looks like it's about to rain right now. At 9 o'clock in the morning.
And I'll tell you what, that would only help the Red Sox because the Yankees have Luis Severino starting tonight on full rest, and the Red Sox are scrambling right now. They're really in a bit of a shambles because Rick Porcello was supposed to start Game 3 for them. He was scheduled, and the Red Sox have had weeks to set up their pitching for the playoffs. And what happens? They wind up putting Rick Porcello, their Game 3 starter, in as a relief pitcher in Game 1.
Right.
Such was the desperation to hang on to the lead, and it's completely screwed up the rest of their playoffs rotation. Which I still don't understand why Alex Cora did that. If you listen to the Mooks up in Boston, Alex Cora should be the manager of the year. And if you listen to me, you know that Boston finished where they finished because their payroll is $250 million.
Well, Seb, you hate Boston, let's be honest.
But you know what? If you spend $250 million, chances are you're going to have a good team.
Did they have to pay fees this year?
Yes, they did. One of only a couple of teams. The Yankees payroll was started the season in, I believe it was 8th place at about 170-something million. And have they added some payroll? Yes, they have. They're still under the threshold for sure. But they did add some payroll, but they're still definitely under the luxury tax threshold, which means that they will not have to pay this year for the first time since all of these rules came into play.
And we know how Steinbrenner looks at.
Well, yeah, because they'll be able to spend. This is going to be a great free agent class, and the Yankees will be able to address some needs, which they don't really have too many of them right now. But I still would like to see the starting rotation strengthened, even though there are pitchers at the minor league level who I think are going to be, quality arms for the Yankees. But that's the one thing you don't know in baseball is which pitcher is going to be a quality starter, and right. That's the eternal question. Right now, it looks like the Atlanta Braves have a lot of very good starters. The Yankees have at least one or two good starting arms in the system, Justice Sheffield among them, but it's hard to tell. It's never easy it's never an easy thing to say, oh yeah, well he's going to be great. Well, you don't know. You don't know how that's always. I've always said this. The biggest jump in sports for any athlete is that jump from AAA to the major leagues.
Right. Well, it shouldn't be that big of a difference, but it's a huge difference. Because,
it's a massive difference. Massive.
It's much tougher. You don't realize it until you get to the next level, so to speak.
Yes.
It's not like going from single A to double A. I don't think.
No, not even close. Because you're talking about. You're talking about going from, quality levels in the minor leagues to playing against men, really. I mean, the guys who have been doing it for 5 years or 10 years.
College basketball or college football, and they all of a sudden they're in the NBA or NFL, and it's like, oh my God, these guys, eat guys like me for breakfast.
Right.
And literally, So that's, I think, part of it. I thought Game 2, brother, was a good game for the Yankees in the sense that they split the series. It's a 5-game series,
right.
Which is a much better thing to split it if you can.
Yeah, they had to win. They had to win one up there, and the thinking was, especially from Yankee fans, was if the Yankees can get Game 1, then they're coming home with 2 wins. Because I don't know anybody that thought Boston was going to win Game 2 with noted playoff choker David Price starting.
Now, is that a nice thing to say, brother?
Yes, it's because it's factual.
That doesn't mean it's nice.
I don't. Yeah, facts are nice. I like facts. Facts are truth. David Price's record in the postseason is now 2-9.
Wow.
Well, so what does that make him?
A guy who's not good in the playoffs.
A noted playoff choker.
Wow.
So he did what I thought he was going to do. He didn't get out of the second inning. The Yankees hit home runs. Gary Sanchez hit one. Aaron Judge hit it. Aaron Judge has 3 home runs in 3 postseason games, by the way.
That's very good.
Doing his best to be the next Derek Jeter. He's not shrinking in the moment.
I
thought
he
sure.
was the next Derek Jeter.
He's confirming that. So, El Gary, my man Gary Sanchez, this was the funny part to me. He was in an at-bat with Red Sox reliever Ryan Brazier. Don't even remember that name because he probably won't be in the major leagues next year. But Brazier was pitching, and they were going back and forth. Gary Sanchez was stepping out of the box. Brazier was screwing around on the rubber, and Brazier then yells at Gary Sanchez, "Get in the box," and an expletive that I obviously can't say on the radio, and El Gary wound up striking out in that at bat. But then the next time he came up, he got in the box and he hit a bomb, 479 feet.
That's incredible.
There used to be a bar across the street from Fenway Park behind the Green Monster called the Mamakin. It was owned by members of Aerosmith. I think
they have a song called Mamakin.
Well, yeah, but that was the name of the bar too. It was also owned by them. They're Boston guys.
I know that, but do they own it or they play there?
No, they owned it.
Oh,
it was a little tiny bar. I actually went there once. But that home run that Gary Sanchez hit would have gone in the door of the restaurant or the bar there, and probably would have sat down and had a drink too.
Wow.
That's how far he hit that ball. So that was a beautiful thing to see. Nice to see Gary Sanchez get back and get his bat in gear, and hopefully, he'll be able to do some work in the playoffs because, we're kind of seeing, is Giancarlo Stanton going to be the presence and the force in the playoffs that we saw him be during the season? And we still have to see, is he capable of living up to that moment, or is he going to shrink in that moment, like we just said Aaron Judge is not doing? But
Basically,
it remains
what
to be
you're
seen. I
saying
need
is
to see a big hit.
He can turn to A-Rod or even another Derek Jeter.
Well,
You know.
I need to see a big hit from Stanton in the playoffs. Hopefully it comes tonight, but the jury is still out as far as Stanton goes in the postseason because obviously with the Marlins, he didn't have very many opportunities.
No, not
to
at all.
in fact probably had no opportunities, but so it's obviously it's a very small sample size, but he has to get something done because J.D. Martinez he hit a home run in Game 1 off of J.A. Happ, and that. Obviously, that turned the game immediately. It gave the Red Sox a 3-run lead in the first inning. Stanton needs to do something similar for the Yankees. He needs to set a tone. He needs to. It doesn't even have to be a home run. I mean, like I said, he came up with the bases loaded. Single would have been 2 runs right there.
Right.
And that's you need a key hit. And
What do you think
so
of
far
this
I'm waiting for
3 out of 5?
I don't have a problem with it.
4 out of 7.
I don't have a problem with it.
Or 2 out of 3. Maybe if it was 2 out of 3, it'd be even more shocking. If
no, because you can't do 2 out of 3 because you'd have to go. If they were doing 2 out of 3, it would be Game 1 Boston, Game 2 New York, Game 3 Boston. And now you're adding travel days because they would want a day off in between, and it wouldn't accomplish the goal of reducing the time. I mean, basically what they're trying to do with 3 out of 5 is shorten the season by a few days because it's already going too long.
Well, we know it goes to November now. It's
right,
about,
but that's the point. Is you don't want it going that deep into October, November.
No.
I mean, the fact that baseball's being played in November is really kind of sacrilegious. I mean,
then again, Jeter's not known as Mr. November then.
Well, but that was a special set of circumstances after 9/11. But that's not something that baseball aspires to, or shouldn't aspire to anyway. But anyway, just kind of getting back to it. Tonight we got like I said, Luis Severino going against Nathan Eovaldi, the former Yankee, because like I said before, Porcello won't be able to pitch. And right now, David Price for the Red Sox is kind of a lost man because the next couple of starts for the Red Sox, they're all going to be on regular rest. And they asked Price after his abomination of a start, when can you be back? And he's like, tomorrow. Well, I don't think Alex Cora wants to use him. Why would he?
Well,
$31 million though is being wasted right there.
Well, I think what you do is if you're David Price, of course you're going to say, I can work any game, anytime, because this is the playoffs, and that's a major thing. If he said, "Well, I need 3 days rest," people would scream at him. So you have to say, "Yeah, I'm ready." Let the manager decide.
But it's the playoffs, so you have to be ready. It's the time of the year where there's no tomorrow. I'm not saying he should be able to pitch every day because that's ridiculous. But if you only pitch an inning or an inning a third or whatever it was, you have to be ready within a day or two.
Right.
Because first of all, you didn't do a whole lot to tax your arm.
Right.
And secondly, if your team needs you, then
also,
you got to be
as
there.
a starting pitcher, you're not going 7 probably. You're probably going 5 maybe or 6.
In the playoffs, yeah. I mean,
that should allow you to have a little more rest.
But that's one thing that I've noticed in the playoffs. I don't think I've seen, and I haven't really kept track of every game. There haven't been too many pitchers that have even gone 6 innings. Starting pitchers are going 4 or 5,
right? And
then all of these teams, except the Red Sox, seemingly have pretty good bullpens, and they're using them. The Brewers have an outstanding bullpen, and they just wound up sweeping the Rockies out of the National League Division Series, so they're going to the NLCS, and they're waiting for the winner of the Dodgers-Braves series. The Braves.
Hope the Dodgers win. I mean, I'm Braves, first of all, in the same division as the Mets. Second of all, you know what? I liked when the Braves were losing.
Why? What is that about? Is that like a whole Mets thing or what?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Think of how many times a Mets have been destroyed by the Braves.
Well, right now the Braves have a good young team. They're like the Yankees in that regard. A good young pitching staff, and that's the Braves are an organization who right now they have a lot of good young pitchers.
Right.
And that's a team to look out for in the